Can you hear?
Before the sunrise, I fear no evil, no, not in this life or eternal. 'Cause I roam these halls, chasing after souls who taking their last breath but can't find their way home. Oh, I'm talking to ghosts, hidden from the earthly eyes of most. I'm talking to ghosts. Oh, I'm talking to ghosts. I pray for mercy, come down on me. I've seen the devil face to face. He cracked a smile as he walked away. Now I roam these halls, chasing after souls who've taken their last breath but can't find their way home. Oh, I'm talking to ghosts.
Hi, everyone tuning in. If everyone would please go over and like and follow Full Spectrum Network, and also go over and like and follow Patti Negri Psychic-Medium, and go over and follow Ghost Sisters. Tonight we have a very special guest, Patti Negri. And Patti's going to take us back into how it all began with Patti, how Patti became Patti Negri.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
We love Patti.
Thank you. And I love you. I love the Ghost Sisters. And I loved your whole intro. I love seeing what you guys do. I'm hearing ghosts. I'm hearing ghosts. Okay. Well, I was kind of born this way. Actually, I don't know if the same for you, Mandy. I've been talking to spirits since I've been talking. I was 3 or 4, just knew the so-called imaginary spirits in my room weren't imaginary. They were real spirits and beings that I can get real information from and talk to under the bed. I mean, all the cliche stuff in the closet, but they were real. And it was never taught out of me. My mom's like, yeah, grandma did that too. And I was always obsessed with the dead, but it was never in a morbid or dark way. It was just, I need to talk to them. So I literally was 7 or 8, and I just had to talk to the dead. I had to do a seance. I didn't even know what it was. I went in my little hallway that had no windows, no lights into it, stuffed towels under the door. I think I came up with my first chant from inside, realized I didn't know dead people. And I'm like, Marilyn Monroe, John Kennedy. And an 8-year-old knew. And my windowless light was filled with orbs and lights and shadows and this and this. And just as Sherry Jones and I went running out, I was actually jumping up and down going, yes, this is real. And yes, we can control this. We can lift the veil, we can lower the veil. And so I spent my whole life studying what that was. And I just always had a connection. Yeah. Always had a connection to nature on that witchy side of things. I would find myself, same thing, in the backyard, just pulling rosemary off the bushes, pulling mint off the bushes, stuffing it in my mom's wallet, just knowing that would bring her more money. She didn't quite.
So would you say you're a natural witch, Patti? Would you say it was natural for you?
Yeah, okay. It's just natural. I've studied it my whole life since then, but yeah, it's all in the blood. It's a blood witch, or whatever you want to call it, or a hereditary witch, however you want to call it. Yeah. It's the knowledge is there. And again, I think a lot of people have it. We've just got so far away from nature, so far away in our non-mystical modern society. Hopefully people will come back to it. And they are. Even paranormal investigation helps open up mysticism and mystery for people that aren't, I'm not going to go into religion, or I'm not going to go to a cult or new age or pagan or whatever, but I'll hunt ghosts. But it's still, they're willing to go to the veil on the other side. So it's going to bring a little bit of mysticism and magic back to the world.
So Patti, how did your family take this? Did they know what was going on with you? Did you have any talks with your family about it?
Yeah, well, again, my mom said, oh, yeah, grandma always did that. She always encouraged it. I was really shy. She wasn't weird. The thing is that was funny is that we weren't raised with any kind of religion or belief system. My mom would have been regular Protestant. My dad would have been Sephardic Jewish from Turkey. But my grandfather was this big, famous psychoanalyst, philosopher, hung out with like Isaac Asimov and Mormon, all these, and he was this practically evangelical atheist. So anything, God, spirit, otherworldly, anything mystical to him was just a weakness and a dirty word. So we didn't have that word, but with my sight, I would drive by a church and see the light and the energy, or a synagogue, or a mosque, or a temple of any. I'd see the magic of spirit, but we just didn't use that word. I think I was 13 when I was brave enough. I wanted to go to a regular Christian church because there was a really cute rock band, those Jesus rock band. I was so scared to ask my mom if I can go to church on a Friday night with my girlfriend. I almost would have felt like safer going, can I go to a rave or an orgy or a disco? Like, but go to church. And my mom goes, you could do anything you want. I'm like, I could do anything. So I became a seeker. I started studying religion, philosophy, just like my grandfather, because he writes books on all of it, but from opposite doors, where he thinks it's all whatever hogwash made by man. I think there is truth in all of it. If you take it down to the layer of energy and that truth below, it doesn't matter exactly what words you're using.
Mm-hmm.
The same. So I'm my grandfather's daughter in through the back door.
Huh.
So that's me. But I kept it very quiet. I kept it very, very, very about not, because I'm in Hollywood. I ran a production company for a long time. I was an actor. The actor didn't matter. But once I started producing shows, I was me. I talked to dead people all the time. I worked with clients. I had a coven. But they could not know that. I just thought, you work for Mattel, you work for Bank of America, you work for all these people. They just cannot know that I talk to dead people and I dance around, bonfires in a cloak. So I kept it very separate. But in 2008, when the big corporate crash hit, and corporate entertainment, I would produce big shows, big song and dance extravaganzas for Vegas, Atlantic City. Corporate entertainment became a dirty word, and reality TV was just getting bigger and bigger. Somebody asked me, they knew my abilities, they knew my seance thing, and they said, and I hear bugs, I'll keep this close. And they said, please, we need you to do a seance on this TV show. We need somebody legitimate. We need somebody who could lift the veil so everybody could see and hear. I go, no, I can't do it. I can't. I just can't. Please. No, I just can't. This is my business. I run a, please. What is the name of this show and what is it? And they go, it's called Mobile Home Disaster, and it's on country music television.
Oh my.
Like, well, nobody's going to watch that. Who'd watch a show called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television, not realizing what reality would become? And so I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Nobody will watch it. And I did it, and I fell in love with the genre. It's like, oh my God, it's not like acting. You don't have to memorize lines. I get to be me, my magic, my message of empowerment of like, oh my God, we are superheroes. We are humans. We're amazing. I was able to help this little girl who had this spirit. I was able to do all this good stuff. 3 cameras following me around, me do my thing. This is great, but I'm not going to do it anymore because I can't, not. So I remember when it aired thinking nobody's going to watch it. The very next morning, one of my biggest corporate clients called and she goes, hi, Patty, I saw you on TV last night. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. I'll never work for a bank, whatever again. She goes, I didn't know you were into the paranormal. I didn't know you were. I'm like, yeah. She goes, me too. We had the best and longest conversation ever. It didn't hurt my accommodation at the bank. So I'm out of the closet. I'm out of the broom closet. I'm out of the psychic closet, out of the medium closet. I'm out of the witch closet. And it's just continued to grow. Then I kind of became the go-to because I know television. I know how to talk the right sound bites, how to hit the mark, and yet be legitimate. It just became the person to call. So I hardly have time for my production company. I did one show last year, which is great because this is following my passion more than I'm really about empowering people, not about talking to ghosts. So where I used to do for the HR department and do a film about whatever motivational to salespeople, how to be empowered. Now I just get to do it to people, regular people. I don't need the corporate thing. So it's pretty cool. Spirit led me all the whole way. I just say, okay.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So when When were you first contacted by Ghost Adventures?
That was kind of a fluke.
How'd
Okay.
that happen? I mean,
Okay, it was 2015, I think. Again, now I'm in Hollywood, and now I do lots of shows. I did six episodes of Pip Boss, Flipping Out. Anytime they need a medium or a psychic or whatever, not specific. I'd done, seances at the Black Dahlia House, all these shows. So I was already kind of known, but they were doing the Haunted Hollywood episode, and they had heard from the people who ran the place that I had been doing a ghost tour there, because I'm on the board of the Hollywood Arts Council. We were doing an arts event where everybody dresses up, not like down and dirty like you guys do investigations. It was like, between the jazz band sets, we're going to go talk to spirits, legitimate, but part of a beautiful dress up old Hollywood event at the American Legion. But being there, I ran into Charlie Chaplin, and I had this big old conversation with Charlie Chaplin, and they had told him about this thing I had just done. And I guess they told him, which I didn't even know, that is the exact seat Charlie Chaplin had sat in, and I didn't know, and whatever. And then he gave me all this information that he had been kicked out of the head during the big communist scare. So but it was really supposed to be just one of those, like all the people who have one episode, you're the local medium, or you're the interview, the person who has experienced something. But then from there, I don't know what happened. Just maybe they just figured out that I knew what I was doing, or they liked it. So I just kind of became the go-to call, whether to feel something out or to do a seance. And sometimes it's, if I send them a place now, then I don't get to feel it out because I know it. Believe me, I am in the dark. I am in the dark. They will keep me blindfolded, literally, if they have to. I will have an address that I drive to or fly to, or they pick me up to. I don't get to know that there was a mass murder in the house because they want it legit. Everything. They are so much integrity. So I'm always more scared, not of ghosts or the demons. Like, what if I'm not psychic today? What if I get crickets? But
I know what you mean.
I know. It's like, but the places they go have been so vetted. They're so charged. You're not going to not know what happened there.
Yeah.
Even the same thing with the Cecil Hotel. He did it to me again. He called me like 2 weeks before. He said, Patty, we're coming to LA and I need you. Okay. I didn't hear from him. 2 weeks later, he called. He goes, okay, Patty, we need you in 2 hours. Can you get here in 2 hours? Gave me a downtown address. I'm a girl. I'm like, 2 hours? Did I wash my hair? Did I have time to put on makeup? I'm not, where are we going? 2 hours to be camera ready. I'm at my brother's house. So I'm like, yeah, okay. And he gave me an address. I don't think he even said Cecil. It's a hotel downtown, Skid Row. And I get there and I see the sign. I'm like, oh, that's the Cecil. And I remembered Water Tank Girl, Alyssa Lamb, the elevator. That's all I remembered. I parked. I'm walking. A rat didn't want to let me in. A rat did not. I would go right. The rat would go left. I'd go left. We were dancing right and left. I'm like, either we're just dancing, or this rat is totally possessed, or this rat is trying to protect me. I don't know, because that place takes you over. That place possesses you so fast.
Oh gosh, I would love to go there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was just there 2 weeks ago with a whole other show. I got to do a seance on the roof under the water tower. Anyway, we'll get there. But so anyway, so I walk in and I'm just taking over the build, and there the guys show up. There's Zach. There's the whole team. Cameras strapped on already, and I'm like, going into transit already. And he goes, okay, Patty, there's 14 floors. There's 700 rooms. You tell us where to go.
Wow, the pressure's on.
So that's where the faith, Maddie, that's where the faith come in. Just trust. Walk in the elevator, press this button.
You got to trust what you receive, most definitely.
And then, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but I went right to a room. I let him right to a room where I go out. I'm opening the window, and he thinks I'm going to jump out the window. He never yelled at. This is a total spoiler alert to anybody who hasn't seen it. Sorry. But I walk in the room, and I'm like, and I'm in trance. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I have this other voice. I got to get out of here. I'm opening the window. I didn't think about anything except, why is Zach yelling at me? Why? He's never yelled at me before. why? And I just got to get out of here. I'm open the window. He's like, sit down. More than you even saw on TV. I think they cut out some of his Patti. I'm like, why is he yelling? Okay, sit down. And they had this little thing dusting. And I guess I had led them right to a room where somebody had jumped out that exact window.
Oh, wow.
led them right to a
So
room.
you were being like taken over
I was
then.
taken over. And then,
Yeah.
taken over. So we get out of the room, and I'm like, oh, we did a bunch of things that aren't on the thing because, editing. They shot for 4 days. I was there for 2 nights. You have to fit it into 2 hours. But anyway, so then I led him to another room, and all of a sudden, because I just allow anything at those. I know how I'll take care. I mean, I'm totally being attacked, and I'm holding myself. I'm bent over, and I'm holding myself. I look like a little kid who has to go to the bathroom. I'm holding myself down there, and I'm being attacked. And I don't go there, don't go there. Oh no, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't get out of it. I was experiencing this person, and then Zach's like, "Where are you being attacked? Where are you being attacked?" The small part of me that was still conscious Patti that I always hold on to, going, how do you say that body part on television? And I'm like, lady parts or female parts. I said.
Oh,
But
man.
I had led them right into a room where a woman had been raped and murdered, a woman who lived there who used to feed the birds or something. It's a trip. That place, every room has a different edge to it, and they're stuck in the halls. There's something that's affecting living people who live there.
Oh,
And
wow.
something that's holding in spirits there, some form of egregore or something.
Patty, Denise, one of the viewers was asking, did you want to jump out of the window when that happened?
People think I did. Everybody seems to think I did. I don't remember. I mean, to me, it's like in trance state, it's like a movie. I just remember, why is he yelling at me? And I got to get out of here. I didn't have the conscious thought to go, I got to get out of here. I'm going to jump out a window. I don't remember saying that. Patty would have caught that. But I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. And why is he yelling at me? That's as far as my head went.
Oh, wow.
So I saw that episode where they took you into this building and all these psychic mediums and everything were in this building. They put you in a room. How you didn't know any of those people were in that one, did you?
Nope, none of them. Everybody's kept separate. You're sequestered. Yeah, he locked me into this little gypsy cabin in his museum and just said, okay, you tell us what's going on. And I remember seeing lady, little girl. I didn't know Bloody Mary, the voodoo queen, was with a little haunted doll, and they were possessing each other back and forth. Then I saw somebody on the floor, and that's when Father Sebastian, who's now my best friend in the world, was just knocked out from the Bela Lugosi mirror. And I'm just kind of stream of consciousness talking. And that's the same one that he goes, okay, I'm just saying what's going on. And he's, come with me, come with me. Again, I get to know nothing. And he leads me into this little room that I hadn't been to that room before. And I see this little unassuming lady, little tiny English lady. Looks like you want to have tea with her. And she wants to kill me. Lady Snake. It was our very first good witch, bad witch that he likes to do to us. And she really did want to kill me. The energy in that room was like, holy, I don't know if I've ever been this much dark, black, witch, specific spell energy. And I had no idea that was Ed Gein's cauldron that he used to cook people in. Ed Gein is the guy that they did Silence of the Lambs about, and the Chainsaw Massacre that used to cut up people and eat them. So it wasn't this little witch lady Snake. I mean, it was her because she's willing to do dark magic where I'm not. But she was possessed by Ed Gein. But I didn't know it was his cauldron until I saw it on TV like a month later. It's like, you mother.
Oh, my.
There was a lot of people inside that building that night.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then didn't meet him till afterwards.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Patty, there's another question from Denise. She says, I'm not sure, but do you feel Alicia Lamb was possessed and did die?
From accidental. I think she was definitely taken over by this spirit. I think it was, I think she was, I know mental imbalances could certainly help. And she had a mental imbalance. So that played into it because that allows spirit possession big time. Any kind of addiction, drug addiction, bad drug addiction, mental imbalance allows dark spirits in. That Cecil was a flop house for dark spirit, for drugs and all that. It's like a hotbed. I think this poor little girl who went there just for vacation, but she had this thing. I think she was totally led by spirit. I have been there now. I've been on the roof. I've been that thing. Some little girl like that is not going to climb up that thing on her own, open the big lid that's hard to open, get inside, figure out how to close the lid, be naked.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No.
I'm just having a
And
spirit
Patti-
come on me right now. I have someone coming close to me.
Oh, good.
I can feel that, huh?
I said,
I can feel someone right now. I have a lot of visitation, and that's what I feel like this is. But it happens every night, pretty much. But somebody's coming close to me right now.
tell them hi. Your control. Tell them to stay, or tell them to talk, or tell them to go.
It's usually my brother or my grandma most of the time.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
cute.
So George says that this icon Patti is 100% cool to listen to. How can you not feel her good in energy? Looking forward to meeting her in Texas at the Paracon.
Texas Paracon. I know. Oh my God. I am so happy we get to see people again. I love this. I love this living world on little Brady Bunch squares of Zoom and Skype, but I can't wait to see people. I have travel starting. That'll be my second or third one in. I think Texas Paracon. I'm doing a thing in Salem end of this month, end of April. I got, I don't know, something in Vegas in June. Then, yay! So I'll see you, George. Texas Paracon.
Patti, I remember watching one of your episodes with Ghost Adventures, and I think it was a house where there were people were murdered, and I think you did a seance with the guys. I remember seeing this. What was your feelings on that house? Did you go in not knowing where you were going, and everything just hit you at once when you walk in?
Yep. I think that's the one that was called the Freak Show Murder House. It was in Chatsworth, in the San Fernando Valley in California. I live. The San Fernando Valley, there's a lot of weird, edgy energy. The Reseda House is there. There's a lot of weird. It's like suburban, not built until the 50s. Mm-hmm. It's not old, but there's something under the ground. But yeah, I literally had. This is what. So I didn't know where I was going. I had an address. I didn't know anything that had happened there, and I came right from doing tarot readings at a baby shower or bridal shower. I'm in my little bridal shower dress, and I walked, and the house looked a little weird because it looked like almost like a Zach's Museum kind of thing on the outside.
Yeah, I remember it. Yes,
but I didn't know anything that had happened there. They just gave me an address in Chatsworth to go to. So yeah, we did it, and I walked through the house, and then that's when I remember choking. I couldn't breathe, and that's I think when I hit the floor in the bathroom or the hall or something. And I didn't. That's later he told me that they had been strangulated and shot or killed or whatever. But I was feeling their terror, definitely. And then, yeah, and then we did do a seance because the dad does like what's there. He's into it, which is great. We're all investigators, but when you got to have kids like that, you got to be careful.
Oh, I think it's amazing how you opened that table at the shrine for us that night. I think it was because of you that the energy was so high on that table.
Thanks. Well, that place is amazing, you guys. I mean, just that table in itself, and you guys were all there. So, yeah, that was wild.
So Seeker James says, well, first of all, Jennifer has a spirit girl on her left-hand side. I knew it, Seeker James, because I can feel someone right next to me. And he said, Patti, your opinion of Ouija boards?
I've been collecting them since I was 6 or 7. I use them. I don't think they should be sold in toy stores. I think they should have a completely different set of directions. Like, this is not a toy, but I think almost like a gun. Not that I'm a gun person. I'm not. You have to know how to use it. It's a piece of cardboard with letters on it. All the people who are scared to death of them, but then there's somebody who will use a pendulum or dowsing rod. No different. This is a portal. That's a portal. Exactly the same. We've just given it all of this energy from a Ouija board. I have safely used Ouija boards my entire life. I've had 2 bad experiences, and they were both my fault. You have to you have to set your boundaries. You have to call in your wards or guards or angels or whatever you work with. You call it in. You're very specific of who you let in. Again, in my regular like seances and things, only people, loved ones of the people at the table or the Zoom table. If you're on investigation, you want to see what's there. I know what I'm doing, or you guys would know what you're doing. You can call in darker, but still be careful with tricksters. My only bad times, one was I was I was doing a film. It was in my neighborhood. I live in Old Hollywood Hills neighborhood, the very first movie enclave right under the Hollywood sign. So it'll go Little Bungalow movie star house, Little Bungalow movie, writer's cabbage, like next door to me was Mary Pickford's dressing room. It's where they wrote Wonderful Life. There's this house in my neighborhood. It was built by Charlie Chaplin, back to Charlie Chaplin for one of his girlfriends, Mary Astor, who was a movie star in the 1920s too. And it was a party house in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s. It was just a Hollywood party house. It looks like it was built like by a mason, sacred geometry, 4-level spiral staircase, 12 of this, all this. There was a compass drawn on the floor. Like, this is a ritual house. In the 60s, the Rolling Stones manager bought it, and the Rolling Stones stayed there, Mamas and Papas, Graham Parsons. So the house attracts these creative people. Then they moved out. Then the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in, and then he moved out. And then my neighbor, Marilyn Manson, moved in and lived there for 7 years and recorded in the dark basement. So the house really did attract. It's not going to attract the happy family of 2.5, 4 kids. Mom, it's not. It's beautiful, but it's not. So he lived there, and then we were doing a documentary about the house called the Mary Astor House. So at the seance table, I don't know, 12 people. We had 4 cameras. It was a big shoot, 4 cameras, and they were really young people. And you guys know, people in that post-puberty, before they get too far into 21, have so much life force. Stuff happens, so much life force. So young people around the table. And I always said, it's okay to be skeptic, but you have to be respectful. Respect is everything, just like an investigation. That's when you have trouble. But this one kid just kept getting so smart alecky, just like saying stupid, rude things. We were working with the Ouija board. We were working spirit. I was channeling, working with everything. I felt the spirit getting angry, not a demon. There was 3 distinct spirits getting angry, getting there. And he said something again, really stupid. The French doors flew open, like poof. Everybody's screaming, screaming, screaming. It was like perfect timing. The producer side of me is going, wow, that's good. That's like special effects, though.
That's some good stuff.
It was good stuff. I would never fake anything, but wow, that was right on. And they caught it on camera. We're moving on. It happens again. French doors, people screaming. The tension is building. I'm trying to keep control. It's building. And then he said something else stupid. The speaker on the floor, old school speakers, how big can they get? And speakers for music. Mm-hmm. The speaker came on, this white noise, almost like a spirit box. All this.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't even plugged in. We looked later. It wasn't even plugged in. That happened twice. So this tension is building. We're getting some heavy stuff that had happened in the 1930s in the dirt basement. It's always the dirt basement. In the dirt basement where Marilyn actually recorded albums. Anyway, we're getting this heavy duty information. And then all of a sudden he said something really stupid. Not him, but the cameraman right across from him filming him like this. Mm-hmm. Burst into flames.
Oh my gosh.
His back, like a V up his back, like angel wings of fire. Everybody screaming. 2 cameras actually caught. Hey, that's all. Sorry, guys. That's all. Haunted everything. Anyway, it's 2 cameras caught it. 1 camera like hit the floor, hit the ceiling. You really do test the metal of a cameraman by the room bursting into flames. Me, cool witch medium Patti becomes a medic. I'm an EMT. I'm drop and roll. I'm done. I'm calling in my wards, my guardians. Shut this down. I don't care what we're filming. Nobody bursts into flames on my watch. Oh my God. His shirt burns off him like poof. It was cotton. It should not have burnt like a nylon or a polyester, like poof. It just burnt off him. Everybody's screaming, and I'm like, we're done. Seance is done. I don't care what we're doing. But the cameraman, who was a total skeptic, was like, oh, I'm okay. the shirt burned off. He goes, I got a sweater. I'll put this on as I'm watching the blistering on his back. I'm okay. Really, please, let's do this. I'm a believer because there's no fireplace or anything behind him. So I talked to the spirit. Again, it wasn't a demon. It was just a cranky spirit who was very theatrical, big in life, big in death. Little quiet ghost bankers, a little quiet, you big old, there's a boom, fire, boom, doors, boom. So he promised he would be good. I knew the kid was no longer going to be a problem. He became a smart aleck kid. He was going to be really good. So we finished the seance. We got other weird stuff that happened. A glass flew out of a thing. Crazy good stuff. And again, a lot of it caught on camera. But the coolest thing about that, again, the cameraman was so inspired. He showed me his back. And this will relate to your table thing. He showed me his back 3 weeks later. He goes, look at my back. It totally looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head, into the shape of a serpent. That is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work dragon energy. That's why I was so excited to get to that Japanese temple, you guys. I work crossroads energy. It's dragon magic. And I'm like, I'm looking at his back. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon. That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And he thought so too. He actually wrote a movie called The Portal with Stephen Norrington, the guy who actually wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade series. He's really left of center of this horror film about a TV psychic medium, me basically, who does every TV show and then opens a portal by mistake, and then all hell breaks loose. And they haven't done it yet. I hope they do it. But I sat down with him for 5 hours with the script. I go, Lauren, you can't say that on camera. An actor can't say that. He goes, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That opened a portal. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? That's what happens. That's why there is cursed horror. You don't want all the actors to die as what happens, because spirits don't know the difference of real and TV. If we're saying those real words, we can't. So we just change those all to meaningless words that if they do get around to doing it, it's not going to be a cursed horror film, but it should be good. But yeah, but again, that was a long story for Ouija board. Sorry about that. Oh, and my other bad story, if you want to know, it was George Hodel. I broke my own rules because I always set up my wards. I call in my protectors, angel, everything you're calling in. I was with my then producer from my old show, on my old podcast, and we were doing a crime seance thing, and I had an Associated Press reporter coming over, and we were doing Dr. Hodel, the Black Dahlia murder. I've already done a few things there.
Oh, I love that. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but my producer and friend for 10 plus years and lots of shows, she goes, I want to talk to my friend, because she had a friend that we'd pull the Ouija, and it was just like picking up the cell phone or texting. It was great. I did not set up my wards and my protectors. We're doing the Ouija. All of a sudden, oh shoot, that's not him. Something pushed me up to the end of my chair. I lean over the chair like this. I hear this crack, crack, crack. Nobody's behind me. I am sliding down to the floor. She's going, Patti, are you okay? Patti, are you okay? I'm like, nope. And I always say I'm okay. Really, I could have my arm cut off, bleeding profuse. I'm fine. It's a scratch. I'm like, nope. I thought I broke my ribs. I had to go to urgent care. Instead of breaking my ribs, all the cartilage was ripped off my floating ribs and from Dr. George Hotel, the Black Dahlia.
Oh my gosh.
In my own dining room. Bad Ouija board usage. They can be insanely dangerous. So can a gun. So again, you're still going to open up stuff if you use pendulum, dowsing rods, tarot cards, spirit boxes, K2 meters. They're all portals. Yeah.
Well, I do spiritual writing, Patti. So I've had some crazy things happen when I've done the spiritual writing.
Yeah. We're opening the veil for it. Mm-hmm. So there's my very long-winded thing about Ouija boards.
Well, Patti, what made you learn how to open veils? Were you self-taught or did you study it? How did you become to learn how to do this? I'm curious. And
yes.
Many of me's talked about this, like, how does she do this?
Yes, and yes. born in me. Nobody taught me anything when I was 7 or 8 and came up with my first chant and sounds to do. It was just in the blood. And then I choose to study. I study everything, you guys, every kind of religion, philosophy, New Age, old age, Peruvian shamanism. Don't know that. Study that for a year because I have to understand all the stuff. What opens the veil, whether it's the scientific versions of it. And again, I've always known that this is our realm and we have to invite in that other realm. So I ended up being very elemental in my magic approach versus earth-based. My witchcraft, I'm not like tradcraft, you're earth-based. So it's earth of spirit, water of spirit, air of spirit, land of spirit, earth of air, earth of fire, earth of water, earth of earth. So I work that way that's why I'm calling the east winds to blow through, open up that veil that communicate with spirit. I call in the fire of the south to burn away the block, mold it into a heart so we can communicate with spirit. I call in the sweet waters of the west. Water is our emotion. It's also the mist of the ancestors rising to again, so we can have the emotions and tap into the spirits. I call in the north, Mother Earth herself, again, to keep us grounded so we could have roots like a tree that go deep into the earth, and yet may our branches, our arms touch into the heavens and the stars. I work again energetically. I'm doing a lot of stuff in my head, and I'm burning herbs and oils and how much mugwort versus how much dragon's blood versus how much this and that. You don't need anything, but I do have it. A bell will always open up to spirit. And I've just put everything together like in a big pot. So it's consistent, where other times spirit doesn't have to be. This, if you have an exact formula how to make muffins, you get the muffins.
Okay.
It's just from studying everything and then putting it all together into my truth of what I just was born with. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Patti, do you have anything new coming up? Anything you'd like to let everyone know? Books? Shows?
Yeah. Well, yes, I have a new network. Got to get you guys on it, kid. We have a new network. It's called paraflix.com. It's a new streaming video. We are the new Netflix of the paranormal. Why, when I have 3 minutes free a day, I decided, I was approached by Nick and Natalie, do you want to start a whole new network? Sure. But it's amazing. We are getting amazing content, films that you're not going to see on Travel Channel or Discover Plus or anything else. Amazing shows, people you guys are going to know and recognize. We're getting great movies. We pay more than like Netflix or whatever, so we're pulling people off. We're having exclusives. I have my own show on it called Morningstar Paranormal, Down the Rabbit Hole, with some people I work with here. I also work a lot with Stefan Brigatti because, again, I've been working with so many people. So you're going to see me here and there and everywhere. Even one of the films we brought in, a vampire film called Portals, I've got a cameo. That's a regular acting job, a cameo in it. So I'm the occult store owner. So yeah, I'm here, there, and everywhere. But that's beside the point. It's mostly not about me. It's a beautiful, and we're really creating family like this. What you guys have, we're going to do live events. Like if you guys were part of the pair, it's like, oh, we're doing an event where you guys come with the Ghost Sisters and we're doing this. It's something in Europe with Nick, something in LA with me, we'll work with the New Realities or with Stefan, South Coast Paranormal. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Paraflix.com. So that, again, and I have some really good YouTube stuff coming. I've been working with YouTubers, cute boys, really cute. I just worked with the TFIL crew. YouTubers know that. It's Elton Castee, TFIL. He's the biggest paranormal YouTuber. We rented the Biltmore Hotel Music Suite, like a $5,000 night suite. The stuff we got there is unbelievable. And then we went to the Cecil. They rented the YouTubers who could rent the whole Cecil Hotel, like Zach Bagans did. And they don't have the rules to have to follow the same way, too. So we didn't have to have the fire marshals and all that. We could do stuff.
Pedro says, yes, we are very cute.
You guys are all so cute. So yeah, so I've got YouTube stuff. I will post it on all my social media, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, because I never know what's going out. I've done really well. I've been working. I did the Lily Singh show a month and a half ago. She's late night, funniest thing ever. A YouTuber gone legit. She's on NBC. I did whole ghost tours of her thing, and that led me to working with another girl, Lauren DIY, who's another hot YouTuber. They're just, it's a whole world that I didn't know anything about. I mean, I've worked with a lot of different, but not to this extent. It's fun. It's fun. So that's it. I just have, again, I've been filming. I can't talk about it yet with Zach and the guys, something new.
Awesome. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
Something new's coming.
Something new. Yeah. New stuff's coming.
So behind you, Patty, are any of those haunted?
Yes. Well, this is Fred Samiti. He's my vampire. He's like the mascot of the Sabretooth clan. This is Belle. She's 105, haunted doll. Very haunted.
Wow.
She was sent to me a few years ago. She's porcelain. People might have seen her move. She's been caught moving a million times. This girl in Belgium had her for 2 or 3 years. Belle made her sick, made all her hair fall out, made all her kids' hair fall out. She saw me on Ghost Adventures. No, the spinoff, Deadly Possessions, doing a seance with Peggy the doll, who's a much more haunted, the one who's given 2 people heart attacks and made all these people sick. So she saw me doing a seance with Peggy. She figured if I could handle Peggy, I could handle Belle. So she asked if she could send her to me. I said, okay, I can handle her. That's great. So she sent her to me. This is the power of Belle. At this time, this has been a few years now. I had never, ever done a Facebook Live, not one single Facebook Live. And something goes, do this live, open the doll live on camera. Never done one. I opened her up. She was really wrapped. I'm opening up. I know there's a wrapping thing that people have. 50,000 viewers.
Oh, wow.
50,000. I get like, ooh, 300. Ooh, something really important or do for you. Ooh, up to 1,000. Nowhere near 50,000. It was Belle, not me. But she was dark and she was icky, and I didn't want all my hair to fall out. I don't have that much hair as it is. So so I banished the bad spirit, and then slowly this beautiful little girl, like 7-8-year-old little European girl, I think had a hard life. She drained people's energy at first really bad. Like she didn't mean to, but like people with issues that you would just get knock out. I had to keep the herb rue in her hands. I would have to do all these magical things with the right herbs and oils and stones. She has stuff on her now, but now she doesn't do it anymore. Now that she's adjusted, she's just part of the family.
That is awesome. I love haunted dolls. I have a haunted doll.
Aren't they the best? And people are beautiful. A girl in the UK made her this beautiful Victorian dress because she just had a modern thing. My girl who made me this matching cloak, my friend Gina, made her this cloak. My friend Richard Lillard, who's also a big part of Paraflix, got her these 100-year-old little leather shoes so she can wear. She's got a fan club.
That's cool.
Little, yeah.
Patty, have you ever done? Do you get calls to do residential cases? Do you ever have to go over to anyone's home and? Oh, you do?
All the time.
Wow.
All the clear. I mean, as far as investigating, I will go with a team because I don't have that equipment. I will go with Stefan Brigatti or the New Reality or now my team, Morningstar Paranormal. But I do a lot of clearings more than anything, especially now everything is so active. This week I had to drive to Bakersfield, which is several hours upstate. This woman, her house was so haunted. She hasn't lived in it for 4 months. A big, beautiful house. She's been staying on couches in hotels. Last week, I've cleaned a clothing manufacturer out, a big warehouse downtown. I've done makeup. I've done everything from the Aaron Spelling Mansion, which is the biggest house in LA, or it was. He's the guy who produced Love Boat and Fantasy Island, big producer of the 80s. I had to get his ghost out of the house because he was bothering the new people. It's like, oh, this is weird. I actually had to clear the Phil Spector. He was the guy he was a big music producer, huge, the big wall of sound, all the 60s sound. And then he killed this girl, Lana Turner, who was a friend of mine, actually.
Oh my gosh.
And then his wife had stayed by him. I had to clear that house. The oozy black icky things in that house were incredible. And I get there. You don't always know where you're going. I didn't know where I was going. Somebody hired me clearing. I'm like, this is a castle. This is a real 4 turrets, like 500 rooms castle. This is going to take a long time. This isn't your 2-bedroom house, condo in Burbank. You never know what you're getting into. But yeah, right now everything is so active. Look, you got a ghost in your house right there. You
I
guys
do.
in investigations. Things are active now. We've
And
moved into the age of Aquarius. The veil is going to be thinner. We're on edge. We've been in a pandemic for a year, so
right.
we're edgy. Am I ever going to work again? Am I going to get the disease? Makes the spirits edgy.
Chaos.
Spinning, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. With all the riots and all the chaos that's going on in the world, that it's almost like it's waking the dead.
It is
More and more. We're finding more and more activity, different activity than we normally do. That's what I think. I think that there's a lot more going on than there was before.
Yeah, there is. And again, it's part of this new age, the age of Aquarius. I'm not an astrologer, but I work with them. But again, we were in an earth-based world, that earth-based solid. Our parents' world, black and white, right and wrong, solid ground. That doesn't exist. It's like this.
Right.
It's Aquarius. It's air. It's movement. So that's much more advantageous to the spirit world. So it's all going to change, and good. I believe we're going to go into the roaring 20s. It's going to be a time of creativity, spirituality, science, less material based. That'll still be there, but it's every time we've done this in the past, in the Renaissance age, gone into this age, it's been a world of magic and spirituality and art.
Patty, has anything ever followed you from any of these residential cases?
I'm really good at protection, so no. But again, when I get caught off guard, again, I live in the Hollywood Hills. Across the street is this other, not as old as mine's a 1920 house. This is a 1930 house. Again, that movie star kind of house. The girl who lived there was an actress, pretty famous actress. All that goes with it. She had kind of fallen to drugs and alcohol. I was trying to help her all the time, and as much as we could. Sadly, she even succumbed to it. Beautiful, beautiful lady, but there is this oozy thing that got in the house. Remember, bad addiction problems, bad whatever. I would go by and you'd see this oozy thing there. It's like, and one day I was just at my house. I don't even think I was working with people, just trying to be right. I have an on-off switch. I turn it off. I don't want to be in the grocery store talking to dead people. Off. No Long Island medium for me. That's how I get through life. Same. But it was off. But all of a sudden, I'm totally like possessed, and I wasn't doing magic. I wasn't working with, and I was like, I'm miserable, and I want to kill myself, and there's no hope. And I'm like, who am I? This isn't me.
Wow. Yeah.
Literally, I live in a hill. It rolled downhill across the street into my house, into me. I called another medium friend who lived down the street. I'm like, help me. Something came into me, and it had. So we got it out, and that was fine. Again, I know how to do it, clear it off. Zach and the team, they all have their own methods of doing it too. So I'm prepared for it. It's when it catches you off guard like that. So, yeah.
Have you ever tried to remove a suicide victim, and do you feel that suicide victims can be removed from a house?
Yes, they can.
Okay. I've been told previously that they cannot, that if they commit suicide at one location, that is where they have to stay.
That is so not true.
That's what I've been saying, Patty. That is not true.
Absolutely not true. Oh no, suicide is an illness. It's a mental state. They are not damned. They are not going to hell. They have lessons to learn. They might get stuck there for a little bit. They might become what I call shades, or those ones that haven't quite crossed over yet. Those ones that don't know they're dead, the violent death, or sometimes suicide, not always suicide, or just don't know. That's the ones. Go to the light, Carol Ann. You create light with the heart, cross it in, create the beam. Everybody in the room, you see it, feel it, sense it. They can be so easily crossed over because they're not coming from evilness. They're not serial killers. They had an issue. I've never had one that stuck in a house. So I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I know there's many truths to life, but I've worked with many suicide people.
And I like to hear that, because I supposedly had one in my house, and Secret James helped me move her out.
Yes.
And I've been told from another friend of mine that it's impossible to move them out. But here's the thing. We actually moved 5 out of my house. Secret James helped me move them out. And they were previous owners of the house. And when we moved them out, I noticed that the energy was totally different. I was waking up at 3 a.m. every night for 6 months. Like all 5 were in my bedroom. It was like drawing my energy constantly. And I was exhausted. And after he helped me with that, and I thank him so much, after he helped me with that, I was able to sleep. I don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning no more. Big difference. Now, my whole backyard used to be an Indian camp. There's residual energy all through my property. That's why I have these little Indians here right now. These little Indians girls come and go. And, you know, if we can find their parents, I'm happy to do that. If not, they're welcome to stay with me and hang out with me. I even told one night, just come watch a Christmas movie with me. And I get like, when they get in the room with me, I get a convulsion feeling. When they're on top of me, I get like thousands of needles. My system kicks up, my nervous system, when they're really close to me. And literally, she sat on that couch with me when I said, let's watch this Christmas movie. She was on that couch for like 10, 15 minutes because I had constant needles where she was sitting right next to me. That's hard on my system after investigations. The next day, my body hurts real bad because all these needles are just constantly, you know, when they're really close to me. But yeah, I was just curious because I haven't had the energy of that suicide person in my house since.
Anybody who said something can't be done, that's taking away your power. We were given free will. We are divine beings and we have free will. Anybody said this is fact, this is this, they're just taking away your power. Anything that's fear-based or can't-based, that's
exactly. So, Patti, you believe that spirits can follow people from place to place?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm a firm believer in that because I know they follow me here.
Right. But I still think we have control over it. I really do. We just don't know that, so we give them control. This is our realm of existence. So, you know, I have a spirit who lives here besides Belle. Her name is Adrienne Breen. She's a French artist. She lived, and again, my house is 1920s. She lived here from the 1960s to 98. My husband and I moved in 2001, complete with ghosts. All her artwork was here. She was an artist. Her paintings, her macrame, her sculpture. She was every kind of artist. So she was here, and we did the house, but we kept a lot of her stuff. I have her art, 2 or 3 pieces of this room. I have her, so she's invited to stay, but she can't get me up at night. She can't do things like that. She sometimes takes pictures out of frames if she's like, we had a flood and we had to move out. She got her mad. Even my husband going, there is no way this picture could be out. Right. That's Adrienne. But just take control. Again, you guys are gifted. So they're going to say, they can see me. They can sense me. Let's go there. They're going to skip the neighbor's house, skip the guy who's asleep, skip the guy who's a skeptic and go, ooh, I'm going to Jenny's and Mandy's house.
But they don't really stay, do they? I mean, I've always heard they stay for a few days to a week or two maybe, and then they usually return back to where they came from.
Usually, again, I see, I know a lot of places that have grandma spirits that just come all the time. I don't believe there's time and space on the other side, so they could be here, there, and everywhere. They could even be reincarnated. I believe in that, and still be grandma, the spirit who watches the grandkids growing up. No time and space.
Patti, we have a question here from Denise. Can a serial killer like the one in Cecil Hotel be in jail and still have his spirit be at the Cecil Hotel, like 2 places at once?
Well, the guy, I don't know. They could send energy, like you create an egregore or a saboteur, but the guy, he's dead. So there was 2 serial killers live there, but they're both dead, and they're there. But I think somebody can have energy, just like evilness creates evilness and send it out there. But the serial killer isn't in jail; he's dead.
But do you believe his spirit still comes there and possesses people and has them do all these things?
But it's more than that. It's more than just Richard Ramirez or the German guy with the
it's all the people that done bad things. It's all that energy.
It's created a spirit of itself. It's called an egregore. It's called whatever that is. It's created its own big, dark, dark. And I think there's something under the ground there right at downtown too. Because again, this was Native American ground too. Right down the street is the Variety Arts Center, which is really haunted. I just did a clearing right across the street from the Cecil, which is Skid Row, is a high-end fancy loft, expensive apartment building. I just had to clear that last week, looking out the window at the Cecil House. I had to put so much more extra protections and cascarilla and things and sigils along the sides. Just, it comes up from the ground there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can see that.
So people, that Cecil Hotel, there's like a lot of manifestation there with all that darkness. And this, I can't believe people live there. How are people living there?
That's empty, isn't it?
No, well, it's supposed to be empty, but 2 floors have people on it. 2 floors.
Oh, really?
Two floors have people. You don't see them. They're kind of like mole people. I think it's real low. The rooms are empty without furniture, maybe 1 chair in each room kind of thing. But like there's not very many people, but maybe they just haven't kicked them out yet with the renovation. I think it's real cheap rent, low end, still flop house kind of thing.
I don't know how they would sleep at night.
Are they planning on just
at night? I don't know. Either.
Are they planning on just condemning it at this point? I guess.
I don't think they condemn it because we got that historic. I think it got a historic thing where you can't mess up a building. That's why they can't even take down the sign that says Cecil Hotel, even though they tried to rename it. You can't. They tried to call it something on Main, stay on Main, make it like a hostel, like inexpensive, but for travelers and kid travelers. That's where how Alyssa Lamb was saying there. But they can't take down the Cecil sign because it's a national landmark.
No, okay. Wow.
Patty, are they allowing paranormal investigators to come and investigate, or is that shut down?
It's shut down unless you have a whole lot of money, like the YouTubers or Zach. But if you have a whole lot of money to rent out all 700 rooms.
Yeah, I would love to go there.
I know. Who knows if they renovate it? I think they're gonna try to renovate it. I don't know how. They should bring in like every shaman, witch, psychic, medium. We should all go there at the same time, like 200 of us, and clear it together. Because I don't know that one person could do it.
No, I think it'd be too much for one person.
And energy and
Most definitely, I agree. So Patty, you have a book that you wrote, and do you want to tell about it real quick?
Yeah, it's called Old World Magic for the Modern World: Tips, Tricks, and Techniques to Empower and Create a Life You Love. It comes from it's super simple. I spent more time unwriting it than writing it. It's simple life, simple hacks, like how to stop chatter in your head in 30 seconds. You don't have time to. I don't have time to meditate for an hour. I have 30 seconds. Oh, that's your water element. I have a love magic chapter, easy. I have a how to clear your house chapter. How to talk to dead people. How to when loved ones cross over. Why to follow moon cycles. This thing on creating a dragon. Super, super simple. Because I got tired of saying it. One thing I noticed in working with people all these decades is people are amazing, but we tend to give away our power all the time. We give away our power to other people, to very limiting belief systems, whether religious belief systems or personal belief. We give away our power to fear. We give away our power. And it's like just the tiniest tweak of your view, you get your power back. It's so easy. Again, we've just gotten so numb. We've gotten so asleep at the wheel. All those words we use, phoned in, by rote. So this is a little wake-up call. Like, again, waxing moon, the 2 weeks the moon's waxing, add into your life. Waning moon, the 2 weeks the moon's waning, let go. Basic, real magical, shamanistic, witchcrafty type practices, but you don't have to be a witch. You don't have to be a psychic. You don't have to be a medium. It's just stuff. And I just got tired of telling people that. So it's if I write it down in a book, it won't. But then once I wrote it, I went, too many words. Just cut it in half. Because when I started like 30 whatever years ago, I'd buy these books, and whether spiritual books or magic books or occult books or psychology books, they'd be big and overwhelming and boring or too hard. And I'd put them on the shelf and I wouldn't read them. I'd buy a really simple little book like by Scott Cunningham, or still my favorite author. And I would devour it. Even this one, notes and this. And that's I was just guided by spirit. So it's an easy, empowering, fast read, but all sorts of things. Protection techniques for home, how to do mirror, how to do when you're out and about. Just a simple how-to for everybody. You don't have to have dragon's blood and mugwort and fancy things. Get some salt out of your kitchen. Put salt, sugar, and milk in a bath. You got a magic bath. Stuff like that.
I've done that.
Nothing like a my bath. Yeah.
Patti, you also, before we end this tonight, you also have people, you get on and teach people how to tune in the spirit and how to, I think you had one on how to lift the veil. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell people real quick before we end this?
I love teaching. Again, I'm about empowering people. That's all I want. So I teach about twice a week. On Thursdays, I teach for a school called House of Intuition. It's all on Zoom, so you could be anywhere in the world, and it's $10 because I don't want money to be an issue for anybody.
Yes,
it shouldn't be to find your happiness. So $10 classes on Thursdays. It's 6 o'clock Pacific, so it's 9 o'clock Eastern, so it's good. I even have people UK get it, and I teach everything: psychic protection, psychic development. Mm-hmm. Pagan, what is the different pagan paths? If you want to go there, you don't have to. I'm getting ready to do psychic protection for paranormal investigators specifically.
Good.
We might have to join that, Patti.
I'll take that one.
I joined that one. And I also teach on Sundays for Haunted Diary School out of the UK, who's one of my partners in Paraflix. Nick, 8 months ago, I did a live with him, something like this. Within 6 months, he has a thriving school, like 5 classes. And they're still cheap. They're only $25, but it's a longer, more in-depth school. And I teach Sunday morning or afternoons.
Also, Patti, don't forget, you do readings with intuitive medium Mandy on Sundays a couple times a month.
I do, with beautiful intuitive medium Mandy. I can't wait.
Yes, this Sunday on Appalachian Memes.
Yep. Is it Sunday? I never know. It's Easter Sunday. Woo, cool. What time are we doing it?
Same time we always do. It's 5:30.
5:30 Pacific. No, 2:30. No, 5:30 Eastern. 2:30 Pacific. We're in different areas of the planet. Oh, 2:30. All right, it's on my calendar, I'm sure.
Okay, awesome.
Where are we?
Yeah, I know you're a very busy woman. You have a lot going on. I totally understand it, Patti. I get it. Also, you guys, Jenny and I have actually been on one of Patti's sites. I forget which one did we get on, Jenny, of Patti's sites that she was doing?
Oh, you mean one of our classes?
Yeah, one of her classes. We joined one.
We did join one. It's been a while ago though. I can't remember. It was on a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of my hour classes. Good. Yeah, I do remember. I forget which one it was. But yeah, anybody who wants, just my social media, my website, pattinegri.com. From that, you can get to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the usual places that we all have to do. And yeah, it's a big world out there. And thank you guys for doing what you guys do, being women in this business. We, are a bit underrepresented. We're getting better. That's why I want Paraflix. I said, get some quality films.
Yes, Patti, I agree.
Amanda just did a book called The Feminine Macabre, all women writers, horror and stuff. I did the thing, and I talk about we need women representation in this world. And so thank you guys for what you are doing as Ghost Sisters, being a woman.
Well, thank you, Patti, and thank you for doing what you do, especially with Ghost Adventures. I love it, and thanks. Jenny loves it too.
Thanks. It is fun. They're great boys, I must say.
So everyone, we are going to end our show tonight. Please go again and follow and like Full Spectrum Network. Also go and follow Psychic-Medium Patti Negri, and go follow the Ghost Sisters. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks, Patti.
Thank you.